Hello and welcome to today's Monday Live. I'm Stephanie from the ADHD Advocate, and I've got here Eleni from the ADHD Advocate as well in the US. Hey,
Hello.
Eleni, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Stephanie?
Good. The Easter holiday break was longer than usual, given my kids were kind of staggered their holidays. One started a week earlier, another, so it was like about 3 weeks, but we're now got some, path ahead, which is good.
Yes, back to normal. And I think for many of us, especially with university students here in the US, the term is ending soon. So we are gearing up for yet another shift in schedules, which is a topic for another Monday Live.
Yeah, and I know we do also recognize there's GCSEs, A levels going on, and we've covered quite a few issues in relation to ADHD in that context over the last couple of weeks. But today we're going to be talking about ADHD in the workplace, so ADHD at work. So the challenges that people with ADHD face as employees, but also as managers as well, sometimes of people with ADHD, as well as for ADHD entrepreneurs. And it's difficult to obviously set up your own business and kind of keep on track when there's not that accountability and structure in place that the workplace provides. So, Eleni, what have you found with the people that you coach, employees in particular? What kind of challenges would you say they face mostly?
It's a bit of a dilemma, isn't it? Because our brains are certainly wired for interests that we find authentically interesting. And oftentimes that doesn't fit into the mold or the format that a sort of a traditionally structured employer offers. So I do coach a lot of entrepreneurs, and exactly what you mentioned, Stephanie, are issues that keep coming up. It's having these wonderful brains that are incredibly creative and capable of just doing some really wonderful things, but it's the sort of the back office side of things that can really be challenging. In particular, sort of paying the invoices, the marketing, the things nobody really likes to do or think about, but are sort of crucial for surviving.
Yeah, it is. It's such a shame, isn't it? Because I know, and you probably have seen this as well, so many of these employees with ADHD bring a huge amount to their workplaces. When they're operating in their area of unique brilliance, they really smash it out of the park and can run circles around some of the neurotypicals in certain areas, particularly if innovation, problem solving is required. Also, kind of networking, building relationships, sales. It's very much that strong point of a lot of ADHD is in terms of when they're in front of the person and they've got no choice and they've just got to kind of perform. But it's, as you said, all the things like the writing up of the reports. So, they've had the meeting or, closed a deal. And then if they have to kind of, write it up or kind of update the CRM, in terms of, yep, met that client, now need to follow up. Yeah, ADHD has really struggled to kind of get it across the line. We tend to, you probably saw this at ADCA as well, Eleni, when they talked about how we're kind of, we get to the finish line, we can see it, but then we don't kind of cross over it.
Yes. That's a very good distinction, Stephanie, because you're exactly right. It's something that can hold our interest until sort of we're almost there, but it's just putting it all together with the bits that we struggle with that make it even more challenging for us to sort of end on a high note.
Yeah, so that's why here at the ADHD Advocate, we have very much bought into Dr. Hallowell's 2.0 point around interdependence, not independence, that the life goal for an ADHD is interdependence, not independence, because we need that body double strategy to help us either do those things that are getting in our way, so kind of delegating, outsourcing, but also if we do need to do that thing, just having someone to help hold our focus, maybe to help us get clear about what it is that's in our way, to kind of break it down, and then even kind of just holding that space to implement is something that we need and that can be really very effective. I mean, we have clients that have been sitting on things for months, years even. And we could talk about it in coaching, but sometimes just implementing, just doing the thing while we've held the space, clearing that block, and then the flow can happen. And that's when they can finally achieve that goal that they've had in sight for a very long time. And it's so rewarding, isn't it? when you can
It
help that
really
way.
is. And I think that's a habit that sort of the earlier you can recognize that in with your ADHD, the more the better able you are to work around it. I find that coaching my students that having accountability is really the biggest obstacle for them to sort of continue on. It's this vague goal that is somewhere off in the future, but unless there's someone there to help them articulate it, define it, and break it down into steps they can achieve, really, this is no different than a work deadline or a personal deadline that you have difficulty getting your head around. So certainly those two things in coaching are can make a massive difference.
Yeah, and we spoke. I got the chance to speak about ADHD coaching in the workplace for the Happiful magazine. So that was just featured in their podcast that came out last week. So what I'll do, I'll put a link in the comment section to this video so that you can check that out, and also provide that to your employer, to the organization, so that they can understand the challenges that get in the way, but more importantly, how it is that ADHD coaching can help remove some of those barriers and help put that ADHD lens on for everyone, in order that these kind of misunderstandings and ways of working that aren't beneficial to us can be reduced, basically, and so that we can thrive in the workplace as opposed to just kind of trying to survive in it. So do check out that podcast, because we'll also provide a link to our video on how to claim funding for ADHD coaching through Access to Work. So it's a 5-minute video that we recorded. It's a very kind of 15-minute process to apply for this funding. So do check that out and apply. It will take a couple of months as well. So the earlier you do it, the better. But we do coach a few people, quite a few employees that have got Access to Work funding, don't we?
Yes, absolutely. It's a wonderful program to avail yourselves of. So we really encourage you to use the link and look at how to apply.
Yeah. So I think that's it for today. We hope that you have a fantastic week, and we look forward to speaking to you on next week's Monday Live.
That's right. That's right. Thank you all.